All accolades, all praises go to this man who created this foundation, the International Carnival Convention. The man who created it, the man who keeps it alive, he and his colleagues, his idea is to bring this forward to you. And it's very heartwarming, and it's an honor to present to you Mr. Leeben McGregor. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, the founder, the everything of the International Carnival Convention.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank each and every one for coming out. Definitely want to acknowledge and thank the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. Without their effort and support, this wasn't going to be possible. And when I'm finished speaking, we are going to go to lunch. We have 15 minutes off. How do you follow up that young man, right? What I am not an expert in mass. I'm not an expert in pan. I'm not an expert in promotions. I'm not an expert in production, right? I'm not an expert in any facet of the carnival industry. What I am good at is putting the right people together for a vision to come to life. And I'm the closing speaker, but I just wanted to interject some things so you guys can have this conversation while you grab your lunch. There's individuals in this room I've met along the way. Mark Iron spoke earlier on. Marlon Smart, designer from New York, was in the room. And the support from these guys has been immense. And I'm saying this to say, this has been such a difficult journey, putting this project together. What you guys are seeing here is 5 years of work. Started in 2019. Pandemic came. Used years through the pandemic to do research. Finally manifested itself to happen in Orlando in 2024. Miami, January of 2025. And I'm not here to call out any entity or government. I'm here to ask for continued support as we're getting from the Central Bank Auditorium. It doesn't matter what we say here today as panelists, as speakers, as supporters. If we don't document it and take it to the right people to be seen, it stays right here. And that is the main reason why this project was started, right? A lot of people tried. There's a gentleman who's going to be here after lunch, Mr. Winston Monroe, president of Sesame Flyers in New York. This is a band that won numerous Band of the Year in New York. This is a guy that sees millions of US dollars in grants, or his organization, I should say. There is a Louis Saldina, his father is Harold Saldina. Real mass people know who he is, one of the pioneers of our mass industry, if I was even born. And Louis Saldina has the largest carnival band in Toronto. I think they won Band of the Year 25 years in a row, I could be wrong. 5,000 masqueraders yearly, give or take. Closely on his heels, we have Mr. Jamal McGregor, former NBA player, played for the Toronto Raptors, Miami Heat, maybe other team. Born to Trinidad parents in Toronto. I'm saying all this to say, use us. I live abroad. When I left Trinidad, I moved to New York. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. We are being shut down when we try to have conversations about getting our culture expanded that could only help our country and our economy in the long run. So you know of a gentleman that is an ambassador to the city of Toronto with Trinidad lineage who can now open doors for our country. When Mr. Saldina, father passed, had a conversation with him and I felt it. His father is a pioneer of the mass industry. And when his father passed, he would have reached out to whoever, I think maybe for a street or some sort of acknowledgement, it wasn't granted. But these are the things that are turning people away from giving back to our country. I'm a son of the soil, born deep south Trinidad and Tobago, Santa Flora. Petro Trin Trintepec. We love our country. And while I'm speaking as a Trini, anyone in here, like my good friend Ian from Grenada or Barbados or Jamaica, could identify and understand where I'm coming from. So without taking too much of your time, because I'm going to speak later on, I want the message to reach out there that we have to cultivate and foster relationships, whether it's in London, New York, Japan, China. Because if we don't do it, not in our generation, probably not in 10, 15, 20 years, as Mr. Singh just said, listen to them very carefully. If we don't do it, what do you guys think is going to happen 40, 50, 60, 70 years down the road? Trinidad Carnival, we go or we don't go, people, fine. However, our instruments, our culture is going to die. And I don't mean die literally, that it's not going to be any carnival. I mean that when we should be benefiting as a country and as a people, it's not going to be so anymore.